You know, not every game has to be a massive 100-hour adventure or a sweaty competitive grind. Sometimes, the best games are the ones that quietly slip under everyone's radar, the hidden indie gems. These are the kinds of games that don't just entertain you, they make you smile. They're short, creative, full of charm, and you can finish them in one sitting. So today, I want to show you a few of my favorite feel-good indie games that you might have missed. A Juggler's Tale is one of those hidden gems you probably haven't heard about. It has under 1,000 reviews on Steam, but it's sitting at an impressive 93% score, and after playing it, I can see why. What grabbed me first were the visuals. I know, I've been saying this in every other video, and you can call me shallow, but the fact is, presentation matters. The game uses a beautiful, handcrafted art style that makes it feel like you're watching a theater performance come to life. The graphics are gorgeous, and you'll travel through a surprising variety of environments. Forests, village rooftops you can parkour across, dangerous waters you have to sail through, and more. Take a look at some of those environments. They're truly stunning.
Abby thinks she's safe, floating like a leaf. But there's more to worry about than a barbarian thief.
You play as Abby, a circus puppet. The story begins with her breaking away from the circus and venturing into a world that feels like a fairy tale, but one with dark twists. Villages torn apart by war, perilous rivers, and hunters chasing you down are just a few of the challenges you face, all while Abby is literally tethered to her puppet strings. And those strings aren't just for show, they're the core gameplay mechanic, and it's a fantastic idea. Sometimes they restrict your movement, like stopping you from crawling through a tight gap, but other times they become part of the puzzles themselves. The game is full of clever environmental challenges where you need to use or work around your strings to progress. The developers did a phenomenal job tying this mechanic to the story and the theme of breaking free to finding your own path. The gameplay reminded me a lot of Limbo. There's no tutorial, no hand-holding, and sometimes you have to fail first just to figure out what the game wants from you. That said, the puzzles are fairly simple, so don't expect a huge challenge here. This is much more about the journey and the story than testing your brain power. And what a story it is. Everything is told in rhyming verses by the puppet master narrator, who both guides and manipulates Abby. Sometimes he feels like he's helping, other times it's clear he's pulling the strings, literally and figuratively. The narrator's performance is fantastic, the writing is clever, and I really appreciated the humor. That dynamic blurs the line between free will and fate, and it perfectly ties into the gamer's bigger themes of freedom versus control and holding on to hope, even in bleak circumstances. It's not a long experience, it took me about 2 hours to finish, but it really sticks with you. Between the theatrical narration, dark fairy tale atmosphere, and the constant reminder that Abby is never quite free of her strings, Juggler's Tale delivers something memorable despite its simplicity.
Aren't you tired of hiding like this? See? Not just you can break the rules.
We talked about breaking free from restrictions imposed by greater powers than yourself, but in order to do that, we need to find courage, and we need to be mentally strong. Figment is one of those games I went into without really expecting much. But once I started playing, I was pleasantly surprised by how much it had going on.
Wake up!
The entire game takes place inside the human mind. Each region reflects different emotions and thought processes, which makes exploring feel really creative and fresh. You'll see how the level design and even the enemies tie back into whatever part of the mind you're in. It's colorful and whimsical on the surface, but there's always this undercurrent of something darker, trauma, fear, the kinds of things that lurk beneath. You play as Dusty, who used to be the mind's courage. These days though, he's retired, a little grumpy, and not exactly thrilled to get pulled back into action. But after a traumatic car crash, nightmares invade the mind and start spreading fear and chaos. So Dusty and his companion Piper set off to restore the balance. The cast of characters you meet along the way is wonderful too. They're funny, quirky, and full of personality. I especially loved Mayor Relic, who speaks in rhymes, similar to the narrator from A Juggler's Tale, and the different voices of feelings when you knock on their houses. Those little touches made me smile every time.
Trauma in the conscious mind. The nightmares have come unconfined. They've seized our lands without remorse. We hide in fear behind closed doors.
Whatever.
The mind is broken. We need order.
These nightmares make me so angry! I'm not lowering myself to do anything about such things as nightmares.
The character performances and the humor are always on point.
Yeah, remembering. What about
Gameplay-wise, it's an adventure game with light combat and puzzle solving.
Yeah, whatever.
The puzzles aren't super complex, but they're serviceable and satisfying to figure out. Exploration is where the game really shines because of the awesome world building. There's a strong sense of creativity in how each area of the mind is designed and built. But the real star for me is the music. The soundtrack ties directly into the gameplay and the bosses actually sing during battles, like Disney villains from back in the day. The songs are funny, catchy, and they give each nightmare so much character. Each boss represents a specific fear, and those themes come through both in their design and their songs. It's memorable in a way that I absolutely loved. Altogether, it's not a long game. It took me around 4 hours to complete it, but it left a big impression on me. Between the humor, the gorgeous hand-drawn world, the playful but dark atmosphere, and those unforgettable nightmares and their theme songs. Figment is the kind of game that just makes you smile while still hitting you with some deeper themes like resilience, courage, and overcoming fear in the face of adversity and self-doubt.
That hit the spot.
So we've managed to beat the voices in our head telling us we're not good enough. And after a victory like that, I think we deserve a little time off. Maybe explore the world, relax, and snap a few photos. TOEM is the perfect cozy experience. The whole game is presented in this charming black and white hand-drawn art style, and right away it just feels warm and inviting. What really makes it stand out though is the photography. Instead of combat, your camera is the core mechanic. With it, you solve puzzles, help characters, complete tasks, and interact with the world simply by taking photos. You play as a young traveler setting out to witness the magical phenomenon known as TOEM. But naturally, the game isn't really about the end destination. It's about the journey itself, the quirky characters you meet, and the little connections you make along the way. The game uses an isometric perspective that works perfectly for exploring the different regions. Each area is filled with its own quirky inhabitants, funny little tasks, and creative puzzles. I really like the design and animations of the characters. Some of them are just hilarious, and the humor throughout the game really puts a smile on your face. Your camera is more than just a gimmick. It's a tool you will use for both discovery and solving problems. The gameplay loop is super satisfying. You complete tasks, earn stamps in your little book, and use those stamps to unlock the next area. I actually went out of my way to collect all the stamps and finish most of the side content, just because gaining those stamps, sticking them in your book, felt so rewarding. The pacing is really relaxed too. There's no pressure, no timers, no stress. It's all about observation and creativity. Combine that with a heartwarming soundtrack and it creates this relaxing, cozy atmosphere that's just so pleasant to spend time in. And just like with the previous games, TOEM isn't a long game either, maybe 2 to 3 hours, but it's an uplifting one. TOEM is about slowing down, appreciating small moments, and seeing the world from new perspectives. It's simple, it's wholesome, and it's the kind of game that leaves you smiling long after you've put it down. Dordogne is a point-and-click game with light puzzle elements. I know that I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, so please, cut me some slack, French-speaking people. In the game, you play as Mimi, who's revisiting her grandmother's house. As you explore, the story takes place between present day and her past childhood summers, with memories tied to objects around the house.
Whatever happened before.
The first thing that grabbed my attention was the gorgeous watercolor art style. It looks like it was created by an expert painter. There are soft, colorful watercolors everywhere, with vibrant brushstrokes that make it feel like a painting come to life. My favorite spot was the Dordogne River, which the game takes its name from. The water looks almost lifelike, and canoeing down the river was easily one of the most precious moments I've had in this game. The art style pairs perfectly with the camera feature. Early on, Mimi's grandmother gives her a camera and you can use it to snap photos as you play. These photos, along with stickers, pins and quotes, can be used in your sticker book where you create pages to capture each day. Think of it like those collages we used to create back in the late 90s or early 90s when we didn't have a smartphone to waste our time on. It's a small touch, but it makes the experience more personal. You'll collect more stickers and photos by doing little tasks, solving puzzles, and progressing in the game. The puzzles are simple, almost meditative, and they're not meant to challenge you. They're there to slow you down, to keep you present in the moment. Dordogne feels like reliving a childhood summer holiday. It's laid back, familiar, and calm. It's the kind of game you pick up on a lazy Sunday when you just want to slow down and relax. What makes it stand out is its art. It genuinely feels like you're stepping into a painting, one brushstroke at a time. And speaking of painting, Behind the frame, the finest scenery is another light point and click puzzler about an artist who's trying to make it in the art world while working on her big masterpiece. The story mixes her struggles as a painter with a kind of mysterious, almost dreamlike atmosphere that keeps you curious about what's really going on. The graphics and the art style are the main showstoppers here. Big surprise, right? It looks like a Studio Ghibli movie. Combine that with the calming background music and the whole vibe is super relaxing. Like I already mentioned, puzzles are light and most of them revolve around painting. The developers have done a great job integrating the practice of painting into a game mechanic and blended it well with the puzzle solving aspect of the game. I have no complaints about the puzzles. They are simple, fair, serviceable to the game, and they feel fun to solve. I even found one puzzle a bit challenging and had to spend a few moments scratching my head over it. Behind the Frame is a short game, so the less I say about it, the better. I don't want to spoil the experience for anyone, and that's why I'm only showing gameplay from the very first few minutes of the game. I'm trying my best not to show too much, as it would ruin the puzzles and the general experience. I finished the game in just about 2 hours, and I really enjoyed my time with it.
Well...
And that's it. 5 short indie games that are all about beautiful worlds, memorable characters, and just outright joy. Have you played any of these games? Or do you plan on playing one after watching this video? Let me know in the comments. And of course, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you want more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. The first few subscribers will get a stamp for their sticker book. Alright, that's all for this one. Take care everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.
Throw up your hands in sadness.